Sisi vile vile sio watu ambao wanataka ugomvi kwa sababu ya ugomvi.
Niwaambia nyinyi ni wajinga mkimfuata Ruto. Mkadhani tunawadanganya.
Jeti ya Ruto. Hii maisha ya Ruto ni stress na ni stress.
Mungu wewe umetukosea.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye Sound Candi Talk. Tukutane Sound Candi Talk.
Watch, share, like, subscribe.
Majina yangu ni Brian Ngika. Na nafanya kazi ya beauty, kazi ya kunyoa, kushuka dreadlocks, kufanya massage na hata kupaka kucha. Na mtaa ni mtaa wa Airways hapo Zebra Utawala. Na unatazama Sound Candi Talk.
Watch, share, like, subscribe. Are you looking for video live streaming services? You want your church services to be on air? You do not know where to market your goods and services? At Sound Candi Talk, we deliver the best live stream services for your events, product and service launches, conferences, weddings, and lives. Reach on us today. We provide live UHD broadcasting for church services, talk shows and podcasts, weddings, live bands, products and services launches, webinars and trainings, Zoom meetings, conferences, seminars, exhibitions, and virtual concerts. We help your event, trainings, shows, and so more to the world through internet broadcasting in UHD. We provide from 1 to several camera setups and integrate graphics to live in your live streams. For more information, contact us through +2547 18454585 or email at soundcandytalk@gmail.com. Sound Candi Talk, making sense of our politics, is seeing live for the mouth.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome for another amazing moment, another amazing episode where we'll be driving in and we'll be looking into the state of the youth inside the country and also the economics, towards the economics and also towards the political. And before we go deeper to that, I just want to remind you that if it's the first time coming across the channel, please subscribe, like, comment, and also you share it to your friends so that they can also benefit from what we come up or what we discuss on this board, because we are having many programs that will be rolling down throughout the day. And tonight don't forget to join us on the political and open forum, whereby they will be discussing more and having conversation on our politics and on our nation to make our nation being a better place. So I invite you, don't just watch alone. For those who are watching, invite somebody to watch with. And today we're having a guest inside our studio that we will be discussing within the matters, and he will helping us to understand better and to drive in more and more towards it. So I just welcome you. Don't watch alone, just welcome with person so that we can benefit from this all together. And also, please share to your friends, share to youth, and share to everyone who is watching us, and all will be great. Thank you and I appreciate it. This Sound Candy Talk. For those who are watching us, you can follow us on Sound Candy Talk YouTube, Sound Candy Talk live on YouTube also, and also you can follow us on Bernard M. Wingozi on Facebook. We are live there also. Yeah, and also you can follow us on Sound Candy Talk Facebook. And if you can want to advert with us or have a communication with us, you can do it through the scrolling details on the screen. You can use them. Also, if you want to support Sound Candy Talk, the details are still just scrolling on the screen. So I welcome you people. Don't watch alone and watch with a friend. Thank you for our guest, and in hope he is doing well. It's been quite a while since last week, and today we are back because we'll be rolling down and down to more details. Thank you and welcome back, Bernard.
Thank you. I'm here.
I will not.
I hope you're not here to crucify
Yeah, we're not here to crucify you. We just want to help us to understand more. It was because the elder people normally say, what an old man can see while sitting. Even you and I have put the stool on Mount Kilimanjaro, I can't see it. So
I'm not an old man.
But a little bit, your age is a little your age is a little bit higher than ours. So you can help us to understand, or you can tell us that young men, this direction that you're taking is a wrong direction, and we have to listen to it. So
definitely that's my job.
You see now. So I've called the right person to do this because I want us to drive into our discussion tonight, to the discussion this day. And the discussion is about the youth affairs, and in our economic and also political. We'll be looking more details and one part each, depending to the time that we'll have and depending to the people who are watching us. And people watching us on TikTok, don't forget to tap the screen, share it also, because it's so great and we will benefit from this, all of us. Please don't miss it. People watching us on TikTok, work up here. People on Facebook, I can wonder people are watching us from TikTok. Also watch us from any platform that you like or you wish, and it will be great. So you need us to help to understand. You need to help us to understand. I had the first point. How can youth affairs affect the economics first, so that we can begin to drive to that?
Okay, the state of youth affairs in the current economic and political landscape.
Yes.
The young people right now are majorly a confused lot. Confused not mainly because of their making, but I think it's a shock of life. The shock of life in the sense that they have not gotten what they expected of life. Their start in life or their approach to life was they will be ushered into a sure destiny that was ready for them, and probably they may struggle a bit, but at least there will be a framework, there will be a foundation, then they will proceed. Unfortunately, they are finding themselves in a place where they don't know whether they should dig the foundation or bring the stones or do whatever. So it's in that, I think it's Psalms 8:1, where it says, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? So we have that state of confusion, especially with young people. And that is why you can see a lot of unbecoming behavior in young people. People are becoming inhuman. You see people at a very tender age are already in crime, and others are into illicit relationships, of course, abuse of drugs and all that. all that is a symptom of the sickness. And the sickness is the fabric of the society is broken. And so the youth are still finding their level, finding their landing base, which is missing. And all this is explainable by reason of, I think, failed parenting. Failed parenting in the sense that we as a nation, now talking generally as a nation, kuna mahali tulilala. Kuna mahali tulilala for about, I would say, 20 years or so, where we expected things to continue as usual and did nothing in preparation of the changes that will come thereafter. And so, kwa kifupi tu, the young people are confused and are not normal.
You want young people to throw stones at me. When you are saying confused, what do you mean?
Confused because for example, every young person, especially the male young people, would always want to be like their father. Okay, they follow their father's steps into becoming the men they are supposed to become, and of course to become responsible. We have a problem here whereby our fathers don't want to show us what they know that has made them who they are. And so we are left to make discoveries by ourselves as young people. And as long as there is experimenting, there must be room for errors. And those errors, some of them are very dire. And the problem is that the fathers also don't know. Okay, so they don't know what they should teach, and they are teaching what they know, and the youth are also learning what they can't handle. And so with that, ni confusion milele. Yeah.
So when you're speaking about youths, they want to learn what they don't know, and also the fathers don't know. How can you help them between those two? Because there's supposed to be someone who knows so that he can teach you.
The problem can only be solved when it's first and foremost acknowledged as a problem.
Yes.
One of the things we have not done as a nation is accept that we have a problem. And this problem is a serious one in the sense that we have a generation that has not been parented and it's become a parent. And so if you have not been parented properly, you have become a parent. How are you going to parent the newborn? Okay.
Yes.
And so this means that we have to do double work. Double work means learn parenting on the job in service training. Okay. And then prevent the problem from persisting, because you are handing it over from one generation to the next generation, all of it by negligence. And so the current fathers were not fathered or parented properly. And so they don't know what to tell their children or guide their children with. It is just don't do, don't go, don't do, don't go. Why? It's don't ask me why. And do you know why they don't want to be asked why? Because they were also not allowed to ask why from their parents. When you were growing up, your mother knew everything, your father knew everything, and you did not know anything. You did not know anything. You are told this is it, that is it. When you ask why, you say, because I'm your mother. So it was low. But today, it's now discussion. And now when it comes to discussion and I don't have content, and you want to engage me, what do you expect? Slap. Why are you putting me on task to give you what I don't have, okay? And you're not my boss. Nimekuja interview kwako.
Young men, have a funny harder. Please tell me, share your views on the comment section. Tell me what do you think about this? Because I feel like this is getting crazy. You want to teach me something that you don't know, even you don't have content about it. So the moment I begin to ask why, now it becomes a dilemma. Now it becomes a violence. So
it results into violence because there is also how to get information, which, in my opinion, the young people have not learned. To get things from an elderly person, you must first and foremost show the elderly person that, one, you need him, okay? Two, you don't know anything. When you come to show the elders what you know, you block them from telling you what you don't know that you need to know. The problem of today's young people is that they go to teach their elders. The moment you begin to teach your elder, umefunga hiyo chapter, you have blocked that library. You will never feed from it because you have made yourself an elder before you become an elder. So there is the art of obtaining information from an elder, and one of it is give the elder his position. Don't use your level of education, your amount of money to declare yourself an elder, and then when you go in the presence of elders, you now want to show them the little you know. That means nothing. And so the young people must learn from their elders. And learning from the elders, they need to humble themselves and accept that they have never been elders, but elders have been youth. Okay, so there is what elders can hand down to you as a youth that is going to make you escape the traps that trapped them. But if you are a stupid young person, you will go to the elder to begin to teach him how to escape the traps that have trapped you. I hope that's not too complicated.
You have reminded me one of the proverbs that says that when an old man dies, it's like a library burned to ashes.
Yes, a whole library has been burned to ashes. And it is sad, but it's true. Majority of our elders are going with everything they brought because there are no young people to collect it. Yes.
And bring it out of the digital platform.
For you to eat, like my friend Pastor Alan used to say that in his village, we had this elderly person who would walk around and they had a bag, a leather bag on his. He will always carry that leather bag and to have some dried roasted meat. Okay. And so he will go to where young people are playing, then call one and say, I have a jinga in my foot. I want you to help me remove the jinga. You see, the young man who will humble himself and remove the jinga, okay, from the mzee's foot, the mzee will put his hand in the bag and give him the roasted meat. But the rest that went to play and ignored the call of the elder missed the meat as well. So there is how to get information from an elder, and one of it is don't show them what you know. Go to them, prostrate, they will give you what you never thought they knew. And that's how to be sure, that's how to be on top of what's going on. For example, even if we look at the political landscape, how are our youthful politicians doing? They are the most bankrupt in terms of information and reliable lessons. You can't rely on them on anything because they are lying like drinking water. And so how do I depend on you when I know you are a straightforward, straight-faced liar? Why? Because they have never understudied under an elderly politician. An elderly politician will tell you, don't go too fast. Don't respond to this one. It's beyond your capacity. Okay, because in life there are age brackets. That's African setting. They are age brackets, and when they are age brackets, only age mates should be exchanging with each other. So it's wrong for somebody like Didmus Baraza to be attacking Raila Odinga. It's stupid, foolish to say the least, because Didmus Baraza is nowhere in the age bracket of Raila Odinga. Okay, and he should not be talking back to him. He should let the people who are in the same league to respond to each other. But because of that, breaking the boundary and beginning to climb, you are beyond your size. You die, and that's why people fizzle out in politics. They don't go beyond where they are. The same applies everywhere else.
That's why I had to drive to other points where we'll be talking one after one and after another, so that we can know how does it affect all of this part, all the current affairs, and also the political part. You find like there is this. Let me begin by this. What I've spoke about Baraza. This is after being after such a like kinds of things, because now you found that like now after I've destroyed everything. I don't have anywhere to kneel on. Now I feel like begin to feel like the world has been abandoned me. Now I get inside to inside the depression.
Oh, yeah, depression can be self-inflicted. In fact, a higher percentage of depression is self-inflicted. Life was never meant to be self-serving. God never intended for men or people to rely on themselves for everything. It is unnatural to be selfish. Now, I'm talking that in terms of not political, but biblical truth. It says it is not good for a man to be alone. That means life was meant to have companionship, and companionship means a state of sharing. Bishop Oyedepo defines life as the art of living sustained by contribution. Life is the art of living sustained by contribution, meaning there is give and take. So if you don't have somebody to give to, you don't have somebody to receive from, that's unnatural. First and foremost. And so it has its effect on your health, it has its effects on your thinking capacity, and even your growth. And God says, whatever I've taught you, make sure you teach your children, and tell them to teach their children, and tell them to teach their children, their children. So there is what's called progressive revelation. This progressive revelation is meant to be shared. What you share multiplies. What you don't share shrinks. There is he that scattereth, yet increaseth. There is he withholdeth more than meat, yet it tendeth to poverty. So life is meant to be communal. Life is meant to be reaching out to someone else. Depression is having pity parties on how you have been abandoned, on how nobody cares about you, how nobody thinks about you, how nobody visits you, how nobody greets you, how nobody notices you. But you fail to ask your question, you as an individual, who have you cared for? Who have you visited? Who have you greeted? Who have you thought about? Okay? Meaning what the Bible says, he that shows himself friendly shall have many friends. So the initiative begins with you. It's not with the other person. So have you shown yourself friendly and missed friends? Have you treated people better and not be treated better? Have you reached out to boost or rather to enhance somebody else's life and you has remained on the floor? So when we miss to operate according to the framework of God's provision, that is when we enter into depression. So the number one cause of depression is selfishness. self-centeredness, which is the number one sin in life.
So you found that this young man just selfishness. Then he feel like the depression is going on, and then also now he fell inside drinking. Inside that, if I drink, I feel like I'll be comfortable. Then without forgetting that I'll drink right now, and then when the alcohol percentage goes down, the problem is not even over. What can you think about that?
Now, what we are saying here is simple. Okay, there is the international evangelist, the late Reinhard Bonnke. He said that he met this person who said he has a problem. No? The reason he drinks is because his wife is too fat. So because his wife is too fat, he goes to drink so that at least he can see her as small. Okay? And he says he went and drank. But when he came back, instead of seeing one wife, now he saw two.
And they're big.
So his problem was, instead of dealing with one monster, he's now dealing with two. Okay? So alcohol did not solve his problem. It made his problem even worse. Now that is partly what we suffer from when we choose to use the wrong means to solve a genuine problem.
Yes.
Okay. And drowning yourself into alcohol will never solve your problems because that's running away from your problem. You are running away from facing whatever that is confronting you.
Yeah.
And so whatever you run away from never solves itself. It waits for you until you come back. And so the earlier you begin to address it, the better. But if you have an escape, every time you escape, you become unable to develop the muscle to withstand the pressure. And so anytime there is pressure, you run away. Anytime there is questioning, you run away. And that way it's a huge problem. So it's not just depression that leads to alcohol or rather abuse of drugs. It is trying to run away from responsibility. You should understand that young people, as a young person, it's your responsibility to develop yourself. Self-development, self-actualization is 99% your responsibility. The other people only bring in the 1%, which is to guide you, which is to correct you. But the initiative and the drive has to come from you. You are here, you want to get here. And so you pull yourself from where you are to where you ought to get to. And it has to be you. Okay? God says, draw nigh to me, and I'll draw nigh to you. So you initiate the process. If you don't draw, I won't. So you must take that responsibility. Say, I will not walk away from God. I will not walk away from my responsibility. I will own up all that I must own up in order to become what I must become. So that needs to be taken seriously. And then understand, especially as the male young people, if the whole world is left in your responsibility. It doesn't matter how many drinks you drink. When you wake up, the world will be waiting for you. The nation is waiting on you. Your mother is waiting on you. Your father is waiting on you. Your brothers, sisters are all waiting on you. And all the women in all the world are waiting on you. So don't run away from responsibility. Instead, develop a muscle to be able to be an answer to the questions. Don't be the question yourself.
Okay, I have heard that, and I also have another question. Just combining to that, today we'll be building up as we continue. Somebody's saying that what make me to get inside depression is about the bullying. And I want to look both sides the bullying, which is about the also on the social media and also on the normal level. Not find somebody say the things that make me to become. You have spoke about that for you to get a depression, you isolate yourself.
Yes.
So somebody say, what make me to isolate myself is the bullying.
That's an excuse. That's my humble understanding. That's an excuse. This is what I mean by that being an excuse. Because in life, you will always have a choice. Okay? You may not help how people treat you, but you will always have a choice on how you respond to the mistreatment. And that choice of how you respond is the key to whether you will be paralyzed or you will rise up and go home. Okay? The best story is I think the Gospel of John, chapter 5, where Jesus goes to this pool of Bethsaida, where there are multitude of impotent people.
Yes.
All manner of sicknesses is present. Okay? Then he goes straight to this man who has been here longest, 38 years. I always say his problem was older than Jesus. By that time, Jesus was 30 years old. The man's problem had been here 38 years. So it was 8 years older than Jesus. Okay? And then he goes straight to the man and asks him, do you want to be made whole? But what did the man say? Let me tell you about this place. There's no love in this church. The angel comes down, yes. But before I get there, these people stop me. This one has stopped me. This one has. Jesus said, do you want to be made whole? Okay? Because this man for 38 years had built an empire of excuses around himself that had paralyzed him, that he couldn't do anything for himself. Okay? He will always say it is those people, it is the angel, it is the water, it is these people, it is when I want to, they hinder me. So Jesus wanted to deliver him from the people. You see, your problem is not your surrounding. The problem is not the lack of love here. The problem is, what do you want? Okay? And that's I call it my classic best miracle in the Bible. Okay? Where Jesus, without binding the spirit of paralysis, okay, and coming against ancestral curses, and removing all the witches, okay, he just told the man, rise up, pick the mat, go home. And Bible says he rose up, picked up the mat, and went home. That means if he did it 38 years ago, he would have gone home. Okay. Because there is nothing Jesus did on the man.
Yeah.
And so this entering into depression and all that is mainly wrong response to whatever you can't help on how on how people should treat you. You get that? You can't determine when I go to this bus stop, everybody will be smiling at me and clapping for me. You don't have control over that. You don't have control on how people treat you. You don't have control on how people take you. The only what you have control over is how you respond to it. And so when you respond to it rightly, you will always have rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say, rejoice, even in a bad circumstance. And that is the art of living. Okay? That's how, as a young person, you must tell yourself, you will not go to your best school. Okay? The school of your choice. And even if you do, you will not get the people of your choice there. Okay? You may get the name of the school and even end up in the school, but the people you will be admitted in that school are not your father, are not your mother, are not your brothers, and they don't care where you came from. And so they will not treat you according to what you want. And so we must, as a people, begin to tell our young people the truth. The world out there is not inside this house. Okay? The way we have brought you up is not the way the world is going to treat you out there. And so you must have an ability to choose. They want me depressed. I refuse to be depressed. They want me to be discouraged. I will encourage myself. They don't want me to achieve. I will prove them wrong by achieving more than they expected. Now that inner drive to rise up every time they push you down, that's what will wear them out. That's how to deal with these issues of depression and the bullying. Okay? Don't let the bully win. Prove the bully wrong by getting much more than he wished for you to get. Yes.
Thank you. Let us just go for just short a commercial break and we will be right back.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye Sound Candy Talk. Tukutane Sound Candy Talk.
Yesterday morning, I decided to buy electricity token of 700 shillings. It bought 15.49 units. The only amount which bought units was what, out of 700, 189.68. 510 went to other charges, taxes. My brother. This is what we need to be talking about. No, not exactly. These stories. I mean, you cannot develop an economy, when the driver of that economy, which is electricity, is unmanageable. You cannot be telling us you want to construct houses. When we get into that houses, we will stay in darkness because we can't afford electricity. That's what we are talking about here. That we need tangible. You know, why do we have enough rains? In fact, some of the dams have busted as of yesterday. And electricity is increasing. Because 700 shillings 2 weeks ago, 700 shillings, I bought 21 units. Yesterday, I bought 15 units. There's something wrong.
Sasa nimpatie gavana wetu.
Mmeona paa sasa wameanza kubabaika. Sasa kama umepewa senator na watu wamekimbia, umebaki na nani? Umepewa speaker, umebaki na nani? Mwambieni hata yeye arudi nyumbani. Hizo ni laana za baba, huyu alimlea akamweka pale juu. Kweli urongo? Huwezi kimbia babako ukaenda kwa jirani. Ndio maana laana hizi watu wa paa warudi kwa huku wakijua hapa ndo nyumbani. Kwa hiyo mimi nawaomba tushikane, yale mengine tunaenda kuchapa kule. Tunajua vile pwani tumenyanyaswa na hii serikali. Kweli urongo? Tunaenda kuchapa pale kwa ground. Wawe tayari cameraman. Leo muangalie vile tunatandika hii serikali. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana.
You are watching Sound Candy Talk. Watch, share, like, subscribe.
Thank you and welcome back, and I appreciate for you watching and keeping this live going on and on. Please, I urge you people, let us just click the subscription link if it's the first time coming across the channel, and it will be great. I also want to ask you another query. We'll speak about the bullying, and I ask you about also the social media. How does the social media also make an impact on our political landscape and also on our current economic affairs?
The social media is a plus in terms of technological advancement and offers of possibilities. Unlike in the past when there was no social media, the limited space of communication was relying on either print media or the mass broadcast media, which had that's what helped Moi to run this country for 24 years without problems, because he controlled the media and controlled the information that was reaching to people. And you will notice that those people who are our parents or grandparents, they depended on BBC to get any credible news, because the other news was all leftovers and the choices of what Moi allowed to go on air. But the social media has made it impossible for anybody to lie to the public or lie to the nation. And of course, if they try, they get discovered too fast, because that information will leak out and will be on the social media, and anybody can broadcast from anywhere. And that in itself is an advantage and a disadvantage at the same time. Social media has also opened the local setting to the international relations without a proper framework. A proper framework meaning that the young people who are busy on the internet and are interacting with different parts of the world, they have not been prepared for there is what is called culture shock, okay? And there is behaviors that are unbecoming in our local setting that are acceptable elsewhere. And so having not been prepared for the rest of the world, and then you're thrown into that space, what happens is you can either adopt on something that is not right and end up messing yourself up. One of it could be you get hooked to wrong friends, because with social media, you can now be in Kenya and dating somebody in Australia. Okay. And you get so connected emotionally until you sell your farm to go to see the person. To go see the person only to find there was no person there. Okay. So there was one old man there who was showing himself as a young man. And so it's a challenge, but to me, it's an advantage. It has given opportunities to many young people, especially, and also the removal of the bureaucracy. Bureaucracy in the sense that before you get a job in Kenya Power, you must have graduated from Kenya Power School of Lightning and everything, and the qualification and all that. But with now social media, you can become an affiliate. There is what is called affiliate marketing, whereby you will be able to promote products of different companies, even without you being their marketing manager or being employed by that company. But you get paid, okay? You may not even be qualified, but as long as you are able to get clients to buy that product, you will get your commission. So social media has made it possible for people to create jobs and, of course, not sit in the house and wait for a job. There are people been looking for a job for 30 years. You look for a job for 20 years. Now, that's madness, to say the least. And so, to me, as much as social media may have its vices, but the advantages outweigh the vices.
The advantages outweighs
the problems that are arising in social media, where it is what we call cybersecurity. As long as you are responsible and you are not throwing yourself into unclear waters on social media, you're safe. And of course, don't engage yourself into illicit relationships and illicit behavior, because the social media teaches everything and anything. Okay, you just go to I call it the University of all the world, YouTube. You see how to drink water. You will see 1 million lessons on how to drink water. Okay, people have taught that. Okay, so there are many people who are going to that to learn things, how to comb your hair. Then you see everybody's hair, when your hair is like this, combed like this, like this. And then there are other things now you go and search, and then they begin to teach you when maybe you're underage, okay? And then things like that and all that. So as much as there is problems with social media, if it is held responsibly, and which I say, okay, let me put this across clearly. As a young person, you're not safe on your own. You should always place yourself under watch. Place yourself under watch means don't trust yourself too much. Don't trust yourself too much, meaning you should always have somebody watching your back. No matter where you go, no matter what you do. And the best example, I use the David example for Psalms 139, okay? Search me, O God, and know my heart. See if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me the way everlasting. Now look at that. David takes himself to God and says, search me. Meaning, if God has not checked me, I present myself for checkup. As a young person, you are not safe going about life on your own. You should always have somebody watching over you, somebody you can an authority in your life, you account to, okay? For example, young people they walk out of the house, they have gone to town. They have not told anyone where they have gone, okay? Then you get arrested, all right? And then you call home, you are arrested. Where? Kamukunji. When did you get to Kamukunji? I was escorting my friend to go and buy shoes. Then we got arrested. Why? My friend alikuwa na banki. Huh? You see, now you're placing this your parents in problems. Okay, number one, this your parent akikuja hiyo hata hiyo police station, it doesn't know what to believe. Okay, he cannot straight say uvutange banki kwa sababu umepatikana na mtu anavuta nini banki na umepatikana na banki. But if you are accountable, okay, natoka naenda Kamkunji, okay, kufanya hii na hii, your parent is aware. So hata akipigiwa simu anajua mtoto wangu ako wapi? Kamkunji. So ikisemekana uko inaitwa nini, sio Kimau, asema hapana, huyo sio wangu. Wangu ako wapi? Kamkunji. And then he will defend you. Mimi ndio nilimtuma kufanya hii na. So kama friend yake alikuwa na hii, then you can easily be what? Secured, because you are accountable. Young people don't like being monitored. Okay? And nobody has time to monitor you. In this time and age, hakuna mko akona time ya kumonitor. So because nobody has time to monitor you, you should present yourself for monitoring. Make it a deliberate choice to account for your day. I'm living here, I'm going so place, I'll be there for so time, then go to so time. When you make yourself accountable that way, you will easily be disciplined to follow due process. You will not have problems with authorities because you have honored the first authority in your life, which is your parents, and then the immediate authorities, the people you live with. You don't just disappear and appear. You are not a spirit. you may be a spirit, but not that kind of spirit of appear and disappear. So accountability. Alex Media there says, have a mentor. Yes, there is a place for mentorship, and there is a place for what we call fatherhood. Fatherhood means an authority in your life. He may not be a mentor. He may not even be grooming you for anything. It's just an authority, point of reference that huyo ndo ananiwekanga mipaka. Akisema hapana, hiyo imeisha hivyo. Okay? And you honor that. The moment you choose to do that, you have secured yourself. That's what Isaiah 8 teaches. It says when you have your teachers in place, then you'll hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. When you have what? Your teachers in place, and then you get to the crossroad, you don't know which way to go. He says you will always hear a voice behind you say, this is the way, walk in it. But when you remove your teachers in place, You will always be confused at the crossroad. You will always be lost because you will not hear any voice telling you anything. And God is not going to speak to you in your own voice. God is not going to speak to you in his own voice. God is going to speak to you in the voice of your authorities. Now, I know that's a bit confusing. There are things you've been lured to do, and you will always hear the voice of your mother warning you the way he warned you
at home.
many years ago. That is the voice God is using to talk to you. I am finished.
We have speak about this warning, meaning somebody warning you from getting inside that crime activity. So what can we speak about this crime activity?
The criminal vices. Okay, they are increasing simply because of one, negligence. Negligence, and I will put the main blame to the government, and then of course our parents. And then not just to blame, but also to paint a picture of a situation whereby we did not anticipate and sort out issues before they arose. There is a reason why our founding fathers of this nation said kuna 3 problems to deal with as an independent Kenya. Okay, one was illiteracy. Okay, then it was diseases, and the third one was I think poverty. Okay, so there was poverty, there was illiteracy, and there was diseases. See, these were the main devils to deal with. Okay, the main things to deal with. So that means at independence, the entirety of the country needed to anticipate. And you know, by the time we were having independence, our population was less than 10 million. Okay, our population was less than 10 million. That meant that before we went to 15 million, when the population got to 15 million, we needed to have developed the country to be able to contain the 15 million people. Okay? And then before we became 20 million, the people responsible for the governance of the country needed to develop the country to be able to carry the population of 20 million. Okay? And before we became 30 million, the country should have progressed to be able to create room for accommodating this other 10 extra million. The problem we have is that we got stuck at 10 million, okay? And now we're at 55 million. So the resources that were enough for 10 million people is being shared by 55 million people. Why would it be a crisis? Okay? So the schools that would accommodate 10 million, okay, comfortably, is now being overweighed by what, 55 million. So the crisis we're in is partly self-inflicted by what? Irresponsible leadership that did not anticipate growth and responded to that growth rightly. And that makes me very angry because we don't happen. There is a reason why pregnancy takes 9 months. Okay? You don't get pregnant today and give birth tomorrow. The 9 months, God is giving you preparation period. Okay? So before this child arrives, you need to have put down machineries to receive the child, accommodate the child, and take care of that child. And that's why our population growth, like in this country, you have census after every 10 years. That's 10 years to find out how many have we, how far have we increased. And now that's why even that is placed under Ministry of Planning and National Development. Okay? The census is done, is the Ministry of Planning and National Development, meaning we need to know how many we are and then develop in that way. But we have not been doing that for the past 30 years or so. And so we are overwhelmed by reason of negligence. Let me talk about church world, okay? We open church, a 4-corner building, okay? We meet, clap our hands. Next thing is wedding, another wedding, then another wedding. Then we begin to pray for more weddings, okay? The more the weddings come, the more children come. we don't have space for Sunday school class. There's no space for school. Okay? But we're conducting weddings and praying for the fruit of the womb. Okay? This fruit of the womb, are we throwing it on the street or throwing it where? You get that? So we need to have visionary leadership whereby we know that after I conduct this wedding, there will be need for nursery. Okay? In his 9 months, there will be a cry of a baby. When this baby come to this church, there should be a nursery where breastfeeding mothers can go and breastfeed the child and then bring them back to church service. We don't think that way as church leaders. Tunakutana tu kupiga makofi na celebrate na kwenda. In the process, we are the contributors to the problems when we are supposed to be a solution. So government has its role, church has its role, but mainly parents were the ones that pushed development. Like where I was born, okay? We had visionary parents who offered land, okay? And begged missionaries to come and put school, put church. They looked forward, they saw that this place will need this. And so majority of the schools in our village are church-based, okay? Church-based, meaning the people who are elders in the church were not fighting over the offering. They were looking at the Sunday school and said, they need a school here. We need a boarding school here. We need a day school here. And they did that. Doing that has enlightened the place. You cannot get stranded. There are parts of this country where you go and if you get lost, you can't get somebody who speaks Swahili. Okay, there is an experience. My mother and the sister went to visit, okay, one of our in-law place, and when they got there, everybody was speaking native language. There was nobody speaking Swahili. You know what they did? They had to go and wait outside the primary school. When the children were being dispatched for lunch time, it's when they found one person that would speak Swahili and give them direction. You get that? So that is by reason of what? The level of enlightenment in that place is low. In our region, there is nobody who doesn't speak Swahili. Even the toothless grandmother will tell you something in Swahili.
Even if it's broken, it's right.
Even if it's broken, but you will understand what he's telling you. But you would have gotten the point.
Thank you. Let us just go for a break and then we will be right back as we wait now, please. Thank you, man. Please don't go away. Be here and get in touch. Thank you.
Afadhali mzee ambaye ni mtulivu, ambaye hana haja ya kujaza mifuko yake, ambaye atachunga masilahi ya watu yake, badala ya mdomo tamtamu, 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 tamtamu. Lakini akiingia ni wale wa kufanya moja yako, nusu ya mwananchi, mbili yako, na tano yangu. Na mnawajua nyinyi mnao.
Kutafuta uongozi kwa kutumia dini au kutumia kabila, unagawa watu. Kazi ya uongozi ni kujenga watu wawe kitu kimoja.
The 2.2 billion has been spent in the office of the president and State House between July and September. If you do that calculation, it means that we spend in that office 23 million per day and 1 million per hour. That cannot be sustainable.
Kulipa gharama
Thank you and welcome back. I'm happy to be with you today, this day, and this made because you are indeed a great person. And I urge you, if the first time coming across the channel, please click the subscription note and don't forget to click the notification bell so that whenever we go live, whenever we upload, you'll be the first one to get the information ever. And also you can support Sound Candy Talk on the scrolling details on the screen. Use the numbers, use the details on the screen, or you can email us, give us information. What do you want us to do? Do you want to be part and parcel of this? Just use the scrolling information. Communicate to us, and it will be of great help. People in the comment section, I always salute you. I see Alex on the comment section is really doing a great job. Still giving us more information and also making us to understand. I wish like we could be able to invite him, but we'll invite him next show. Without taking a lot of time, because I see our time is really gone. I want to ask you just you have speak about when the time goes. Okay, also the time is a bigger time management, because when it comes to management of time, more so I don't want to speak about. Ladies, don't take me back and just like not. Ladies, you are very poor when it's come to time. But
that is stereotyping.
Ladies, you are good. I love you so much. There's no people like ladies in this world. So I just asked about. We see that the time when the time goes, the everything changes. Also, you say that whenever the time goes, we expect that the government should bring up the strategy to access the capability of the people goes, the number of the people that are raising up. So in this perspective, we come and see about the materialism, meaning we need these things in terms of materialism. So how do you handle it to get materialism so that it can be balanced with the education equality and also the family problems? Because the family problems are being caused because of the materiality. And when the family has a problem, also it affects the education. Now it's bring the education inequality. So what can you speak about that before we speak about the
education is supposed to be an equalizer, not a class creating kind of undertaking. But the materialism or being materialistic, where people draw their value into how much they have and what they own, and despise others because they don't own what they own. Now that becomes a huge problem, whereby our sense of value now is driven, instead of it being character, it becomes possessions. And then anybody can possess anything. Okay, there's a movie I watched recently, and the phrase in the movie was, anybody can make money, but not anybody can become a king. Okay, that means anybody can make money, but not anybody can become a king. For you to become a king, there is a way of life, and there is a character development you need to have in order for you to make it as a king. But money, you just need to be smart and provide a solution to the problem that is ailing everybody. Everybody will come and buy from you the solution. And so making money is simple, but building up a character that will make you reliable and dependable, it is a little bit harder. And so that's why people are running away from character development. They are busy acquiring materials so that the materials can make them important. And that's, I would say, that is one of the things that has affected our politics badly. The politics of materialism, which was introduced by Moi majorly, okay? Buying people by reason of giving them lands or giving them gifts and all that. And so when I talked about the 20 years of being asleep, I was referring to that period, okay? When we forgot about character development, we forgot about sincerity, honesty, and, straight dealing. We began now to look for shortcuts. How do I silence Martin Shikuku, okay, who is always finding fault with me? Now, Martin Shikuku is finding fault with me. Who has the fault? It's me, okay? Who should address the fault? Is me. Who should correct the wrong? Is me. But instead of me correcting my wrong, I'm going to make Martin Shikuku wrong. You get that? And so what happens, instead of us dealing with our internal problem, we go and make it an external excuse. And that external excuse hampers us from dealing with the real cause of our issue. So as a country, we are where we are because of somebody thinking that by silencing the outside, the problem inside will go. Instead, that problem inside has now multiplied. We have now given birth to that problem, multiplied it, and now it's everywhere. And just listen to the venom that is being vomited by our younger politicians. Then you begin to pray for this country, because if these are the future presidents, then there is no need for this country to exist as a country. Okay, and so materialism is a phenomena that needs to be dealt with both religiously as well as politically and then socially. We must begin to let our children understand that they are more than the shoes they wear, they are more than the clothes they wear, they are more than the school they attended, they are more than the bus they ride or the car that they ride. They are them first before these things. And when these things are taken away, they have not gone. They can still acquire these things. Now, that difference has not been made clear in this generation. And that's why when somebody loses their phone, he kills himself. Okay? He loses his shoes, he kills himself. And he thinks that the shoes are more important than they are. You are more important than anything you have seen in the whole world. Jesus asked a powerful question. Say, what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world and lose his own? Your soul is more important than everything in the world, including the richest people in the world and their wealth. They don't have enough to buy you, your soul as an individual. And so we need to see ourselves of greater value than the materials that are placed on us, and then refuse the reverse psychology that is being applied to us by politicians, that you are as important as who you work with, you are as important as how much money you have in your bank account. You may have nothing in your account, okay? But that doesn't reduce you one bit. You are still whole. So as young people, you need to have that understanding that whatever that is taken away from you, okay, it has not going to come back. If you will work on yourself, polish yourself, make yourself of greater value, whatever you lost will find its way back to you. There are two things. Somebody said there are two ways of catching butterflies. Okay, there are two ways of catching butterflies. I believe everybody knows what butterfly is. Okay, you can either chase after them with a net and try to catch. Okay, how many will you catch with a net? Maybe three or two. Okay, it's a, so one way is chasing them with a net and try to catch. The other way is to plant a garden of flowers, and the butterfly will relocate to your place.
Yes.
That is it. So as a young person, you can either turn yourself into a garden and the butterflies will come, or you can go out there and chase after one butterfly, you come back wounded, then you chase after another one for the following day. So choose, are you going to make yourself important? Are you going to make yourself of greater value? Because it's what you take on the market that is bought, okay? And the price on the market is determined by the value you bring to the market. What are you worth as a young person? What's up to kutuambia I'm over 18, I need to be respected. You need to realize that I'm not a child. It is not me realizing, okay? Are you not a child? Are you not behaving like one? Are you not carrying yourself like one? If your mother is buying you toothpaste, toothbrush, underwear, and everything else, are you not still a child? Just like we came to pick you at Pumwan maternity, we came with diaper, we came with napkin, we came with lasso, we came with towel, and we are still doing it now. And you're threatening us that you're 22, 23, 20 what? No, let me not get worked up with that. Ile upako ilikuwa imeanza kupanda.
Okay, as we wind up, the time is so much gone. Let's look at What about the economic reshuffling?
The shifts in the economics. That is why you need to be a viable young person. Viable young person meaning you need to be adaptable. Adaptability to change of economic changes, the better. The best example is when we move from analog to digital. Okay, the people who refused and remained in analog, they are in darkness now. Okay, because everything has shifted to digital, and now it's moving from digital to smart. Okay, from smart you are going to artificial intelligence. Okay, so everything is moving. So if you are not moving with moving, you will remain behind. Just like Israel left Egypt, but kuna wale walichagua kubaki bado wako huko. Okay, so it is important as a young person, make yourself versatile. Versatile means don't be a master of one trade, or I mean as a principle. Okay, be flexible and be open to opportunities, and then develop different skills. I hope everybody understands that today skill sells more than even education. Okay, skill sells more than education. There are people who are making more money by their talent than their certificate.
Yes.
Okay, and that talent is born out of their developing their skill to perfection until it has become an international commodity that the world wants. And so the world will pay anything to get it. And they don't want to care whether you have a degree or whether you have centigrades. They don't care. You can deliver. Okay? And so you need to work on yourself as a young person and make yourself as useful as possible. Okay? Find what can you do. There is a teaching I teach on the young and the dynamics of a young, a successful young man. Okay, it says, neglect not the gift that is in you. Neglect not the gift that is in you. And in that teaching, we teach that I think even the video is on YouTube. Neglect not the gift that is in you, meaning God is not going to ask you, okay, why you did not do what you couldn't do. God is only going to ask you what you did with what you could do. So what can you do? Gift is not close your eyes, we are releasing gifts. Receive. Gift simply means what you can do. Okay? You may not be able to roll English like me, okay? But you can roll chapati properly, isn't it? Yes. So rolling chapati can take you far than trying to roll English when you can't. Okay? So find out as a young person, what can you do? Then hone it, polish it. That is what will make room for you in your world. So if it's talking, perfect it. If it is cooking, perfect. There's a story I share here of a lady who was brought from the village to come and work as a house girl. But she had a skill of making mandazi that made unique mandazi. The taste of that mandazi was the only one to produce. So what happened? The family that she was working for got some visitors in the evening who are foreigners. Okay? So they came and it was evening, so they were served evening tea with mandazi. And they tested the mandazi. And after testing, the first question is, who prepared this mandazi? So the family was kind of, maybe the mandazi is not well done or something. They said, we have never tasted anything good like this. He said, it was prepared by our house girl. He said, we have a conference next week. Can she prepare mandazi to feed our delegates at the conference? He said, yeah, no problem. We can provide the materials. She will do that. She prepared the mandazi for that conference at KICC. Every person that tasted the mandazi asked, who prepared this mandazi? Okay? I say, from here, KICC, we are going to Norway for another conference. And we want this mandazi in that particular conference. That lady got her passport, got her visa, got air ticket to go to Norway to cook what? So what you can do, okay, will take you far than you struggling to do what you can't do. So neglect not the gift that is in you simply means assess yourself as a young person. What can you do? Even if you're pursuing a degree in medicine, there is what you can do. And what Bible says, what Bible teaches is that whatever your hand findeth to do, do it with all your might. Okay? I'm a preacher. And do you know when I started to preach? When I did not know English. Okay. When I would shrub every English word, it had more, we call it, instead of English, it was Ingluya. It was Ingluya, it was not English, okay? But what happened? By what? Exercising yourself, you perfect your skill, and your skill begins to make room for you. Okay, so I want to encourage you as a young person from wherever you are. The changes in economics, okay? Right now, if you wanted to start business in your village, you needed to go and do what? And buy, what is it called? You may start business of buying chicken, or start business of, buying goats and go and sell, or sheep and go and sell, okay? Today, you don't need all that, okay? You can transact business online without capital. The only capital you need is your skill. You get that? And so if you are not making yourself skillful and your knowledge is not translating into something you can do, then what happens? You will be passed with time. So economic shifts should not lock you out. It should just make you understand that times are changing. Okay, times are changing, but as they change, I need also to be useful continually. And the best example I give you, those of you who have aspiration in politics, is study Raila Odinga. Okay, the people who started politics with Raila Odinga, some of them we can't see them, we don't know where they are. Others claimed it's old age. Raila was the other guy was saying kama nyoka. Sasa ametoa ngozi, sasa amekuwa more youthful than the youthful politicians. Why? He knows how to move with time. He knows how to adjust and adopt to changes. So to the changes that take place. So be the same, do the same, and things will work out. Thank you.
Okay, before I welcome Alex, you already answered the question that I needed to ask. The question is about employment opportunities. Although your president promises the employment that is not there, I don't have to drive there because to bring more problems. Let me listen to Alex. Alex, how are you?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just happy that you're having a very good discussion. I wish people are there to listen to the advice, especially the young people. You know, Bernard has a ton of knowledge that sometimes it makes me, it's interesting. So
Karibu, hali vipi huko?
Sasa hii ni usiku, ni saa 9 usiku. But I found myself, I don't know what I was doing in YouTube. I found you guys are live when you started. You had just started.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so the question he asked, there are 3 things that
Sorry. It's like the internet threw you out. But come back. Yes, good.
Yeah, if you use it rightly. Secondly,
3 things. You had dropped out, huh?
Yeah, 3 things. Your gift will take you far. Hold on to your gift and keep refining it. No matter what, refine it. The second thing is capital knowledge. Continue educating yourself. Those who read are the ones who lead. you cannot go far without reading a book a week. You know, you cannot speak eloquently. And as you grow older, you ought to refine the way you speak, the tone, the demeanor, the mode, and everything. The other one is social capital. And social capital is a huge thing, the people you interact with. These are things that will take you. And then the other thing is skill sets. Do you know a roofer makes a lot of money more than many people? A roofer will come. I was building a house, nikamaliza, ilikuwa ni ghorofa ya 16, 4x4. So ilikuwa nyumba kubwa kwa mabati. So a roofer came, we negotiated, and akaniambia mabati utaweka hapa ni mabati 400. So kwa mabati moja itakuwa hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi. I ended up paying the guy 900,000 to put on my roof. And he finished the work in 3 days. I came to know that you must find a trade as a person, not just knowledge, a trade that you do. Like the Israelites, you have to do 3 things. You must have a trade, a job, and you must go to the military as a young person. The military is meant to give you discipline forever in your life. But a trade is the one that gives you money for your retirement. A job, you go just there for dignity and everything. So you must combine these trios so that they can be part and parcel of what you build yourself to. So that was a very good question you asked. And keep in mind that there is competition out there. So you must be disciplined in order to earn those 3 things. You may not go with speed, but slow but steady, you will get there. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, for that great contribution in there. It's so great, and I really appreciate people who have been with us as we winding up the segment. As our time is so much coming, just another 2 minutes to end now. I'll welcome Bernard to give us the closing remarks, and also Alex to closing the remarks as we close up.
Okay, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate you for being part of this great conversation, and we trust that what we are sharing here is helping you, and we would want to hear your feedback. So please find it in your schedule to get back to us. Let us know what you think we should address, and of course, we will be here always to see to it that you don't run out of information that has been graciously given to us by God to be part of what blesses this generation. And so, like you've been told, we have a show that runs in the night. That is nighttime in East Africa, which is daytime for Alex and Tim. So from 10 p.m., we'll be having the open forum where we have Kenyans coming together and discussing Kenyan affairs in Kenyan style for the correction of what is wrong in our nation. And then, of course, ensuring that the coming generations understand where we have come from and where we are going. So thank you so much for having me on this your show. And I'm at your call.
Thank you. I really appreciate it because your turn up is so good. I informed me for a short period of time, but your turn up was so amazing. Alex, can you give us closing remarks as give the Vijana wise word?
What I can say is that Bernard has educated me very well. You know, one of the things that makes me come to Sound Candid is we learn from each other. Even a clock that doesn't work twice a day, it's right. Do you understand what I said? Even a clock that doesn't work twice a day, it's right.
It's right.
If the clock stops at 2 p.m., kutakuwa na 2 p.m. at 2 a.m. So every person has 2 things that they will tell you that they will help you in life. And listening is the key. but in listening, you must also know what to throw out and what to take in. That will fundamentally make you a better person in terms of how you manage everything. Management is the key. You see, Bernard manages his time very well, that he sleeps during the day so that he can come to show, finish 4 hours or 5 hours. So management is the key. So if you don't know how to manage yourself, it will be difficult. And management does not mean time management. It's preparation deeply for the things that you're going to discuss, to a point that you have knowledge capital, and that will sharpen your skill sets, and people will be closer to you, and that will build something called social capital, knowledge. That's my conclusion.
Thank you, Alex, for that great conclusion. Indeed, it's incredible. I really appreciate for everyone that who has watched up to this time. Please, I urge you, if you come in the course of the channel, please share the link. Also invite people to subscribe. It will be great. And don't subscribe and then don't click the notification bell. We'll be doing the zero work. So subscribe and click the notification bell and then click all. And then we'll be getting all updates as we do bringing them down. I really appreciate it. And let us meet this place this time next week.
Subscribe to YouTube. The link ya YouTube iko hapo kwa bio. You click on the bio, itakupeleka directly kwa YouTube. Oh God. Itakupeleka directly